Hi. I usually start off with a warm hello, but I like the sound of the rain right now. But hello. Today is day 48 of the 75 Day Spirit Baby Devotional, and I am Jezreel. I am a Spirit Baby medium. I am the Spirit Baby auntie, and I am a sacred birth worker. If you are looking for a doula in the Atlanta area, my discovery call link is in the bio below. I also have a free ebook for pregnant moms looking to have a refresher and a moment of reflection on what it means to be held and how they can hold themselves in pregnancy, how they can ask others to hold them in pregnancy, and just like I said, a reminder, a remembering of what it means to take the time to be with oneself. And lastly, there is a Facebook community called the Spirit Baby Connect group. It's on Facebook, Spirit Baby Connect. All of this is in the description box below, so yes. So I am feeling a lot in my heart space today. So much in my heart space. I did a bit of reflecting today on my journey of womanhood, of when I got my first period, my menarche. And I shared a 20-minute video. I feel so raw. After that, I shared a 20-minute video with my sisters in this conscious conception group that I am in. I've told you we are all in a 10-week container called Chia Line. And this week, our mentor asked us to share just our journey with our first period. And one thing that is very raw for me when it comes to the conversation around my period is how it feels like I've been on this journey of wanting a period, or on a journey to having a period, always seeking my period, longing for my period. And the truth is that my period, my menarche, is wrapped up in a lot of childhood trauma, which I've talked about quite a bit in this journey here, in this devotional. And I am a woman who loves having a period. I am grateful for my period. I am grateful whenever I bleed. I have learned so much in adulthood about my period, about how magical it is to be a woman who bleeds, about how sacred it is to be a woman who bleeds, about how just damn powerful it is to be a woman who bleeds. And growing up, there was so much shame around being a woman who bleeds. There was so much shame around the blood. There was just so much shame. And for what? I don't know. But I don't wish to live a life like that. And I shared my whole journey, like, because my menarche journey is definitely really intertwined with my sexual journey as a woman with a vulva, a vagina, and a uterus. And thank you, Rain. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Yeah. When it came down to having a period as a woman, it was just something that was gonna happen, and it was a bane of the existence. It was gross as far as like my mom was concerned. And it was my abuser, the person who was grooming me and harming me as a child, who told me about my menstrual. And it was also the same conversation around, you know, the concept of a cherry being popped. It's when your hymen rips when you first have sex. He told me about a bleed the same time he told me about that. And I didn't realize how inappropriate the conversation was at all. I just felt cringy. Like, I'm like, ew. But I didn't know the information, or I just didn't. It wasn't the worst thing that was happening between him and I in our relationship, and the things that I knew about him and just our relationship. I got my period when I was 13, and my abuse started when I was 8. And I was sexually active by the time, well, I was already like actively involved in sex at 8. So around 11 or 12 is when I was taking back quote unquote control over my sexual expression. And I just found that very profound today, just reflecting on having had been sexually active before I was menstruating, having had an orgasm. Somebody else made me have an orgasm, which was my abuser, before I was a menstruating young lady. And then I went on to have years of a weird relationship with orgasming. And I just carried that all just in a nice, confused, tangled up box. And the box being my womb space. And it's just been heavy. Just things my womb has been carrying. And carrying alone, because it feels too heavy to share. It feels too heavy to have held. And there's just depth in it. And along this conversation with my sisters, we've been talking about the wisdom that we as people who have survived things that seem, for me, treacherous. The wisdom that we gain and how it's capable of, it just molds us into the people that we are today. Like, I am the person I am today because of the experiences that I've experienced. And I have been sitting with and being with and really pausing to hold space for that abuse for the past maybe 3 or 4 years. And this all happened between the ages of 8 and 13, 8 and 12. And that just feels so ancient, like old news, like old shit. But the truth is that it's my history. It was a period in my time, a very vital period of my puberty, taken from me, or just muddied up and abused. And I was neglected and emotionally, physically, and like I said, I didn't get a chance to really deal with it because life goes on. My mom had her own traumas. The women in my family have their own traumas that you get the fuck on. Like, when you're living in a survival state of being, it's not really something you have time to pause and be in, especially when you got bills to pay, mouths to feed. my son lives such a beautiful life, and he has no idea the type of evil that I've seen and lived with and been around and adapted to survive around because of the life that my husband and I create for him and nurture for him and have chosen to pour into. And man, wow, I just feel raw. That's some real shit. And if you yourself have had a similar experience, the way I've had an experience, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for continuing to lead a path that led you to this very moment of being held and seen and understood for the depth of what you carry. To carry something so horrific and real and heavy is big as fuck. It's really big. And excuse me, I keep telling y'all I feel the presence of a little girl spirit baby. So maybe you yourself are pregnant with a little girl. And a part of this journey of being in communion with my spirit baby girl, the spirit baby girl that communicates with me, is that when it comes to achieving the VBAC that I so desire to have, or that I will have, that I am destined to have, I have to be with this shit. I have to really honor my womb story. I was having a meditation today where I was connecting with my womb. And I asked my womb a question. And the answer I received was, I'm just not ready. And that's the same answer I've gotten when I've talked to my spirit baby about, girl, where you at? And she was like, I'm not ready. And deeply honoring where I am truthfully in my present, not where I want to go. I know where I want to go. I got my vision on it. However, in order to get there, I have to be here, because being here means I get the chance to take this one step in every single step, because I trust me. I trust my timing. I trust my alignment is going to lead me to exactly where I want to go. Right? And that's how it is. I recently spoke to somebody about a psychedelic trip I went on. And on the psychedelic trip, I was also on a hike. And the hike was, at the end of it, the total mileage was 9 miles. And that was the most I've ever walked. I remember I was 265 pounds and one of my biggest weights ever. And I walked those 9 miles and I was leading and I was motivated. And in order to stay motivated, mind you, I'm on the psychedelic trip. I'm hearing the mantra over and over again, you know, one step, one mission, one step, one mission, one step, one mission. One step, one mission. As long as I make this next step, every step that I am making is along this one mission. My one mission is to get to the car. So one step, one mission, one step, one mission, one step, one mission. I just kept saying that over and over again because I was tired. I was in pain. I was ready to quit. However, I took that with me. And that was one of the first times I had a menstrual after being an adult and having had, I even cut my own birth control out my arm, like just being real, really fucking rebellious, because I didn't want to pay. You mean to tell me I gotta pay $280 something? No. And I didn't have the money for it. Like, I just wasn't doing it. So I don't know if the scar is still there, but I have a scar right. I think, yeah, it's still a little tender. Got a scar right there. Cut the birth control right out. And I'm not condoning that. I'm not telling anybody to do that. However, that was my survival story. And after that, my menstrual was everywhere. And I was on a different kind of antidepressant, on another type of pill for my weight and for something else. I was taking all these medicines when I finally stopped putting that bullshit in my body. After that hike and just that conversation with the universe, with Mother Earth, I was able to get to the bottom of just safety and what it means to be safe and have nothing to worry about, and how present one really needs to be in order to move forward. Yeah. And there's just something really potent about trusting your intuition, trusting the vision, trusting yourself, and flowing with your own wisdom. Because that just is. That just is. That just really is. I'm having a moment. One of my, I already have an image of what I want the thumbnail to be. And it's of me with a bindi right here. And I can't imagine anybody actually watching this far. Watching this far and hear me explain it. But I feel all of this fear of making it a part of the thumbnail. And it's also just doing something I'm afraid of. And I'm gonna do it. Why? Because I'm talking about my period. And I love my period so much. And if anybody asks me about it, I'm gonna talk about it. And it's like, as I'm talking about it, I can see a little mark right there. And it's such a beautiful picture of myself. There's just something about being a wild version of woman that I feel like I am and that I aspire to be. I just want to be wild, free. Young, wild, and free. And how does this song go? Living life. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. And we don't care who sees. So what, we go out. And that's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. And it's like I'm in this season of life where I can't see myself drinking. I can't see myself smoking. But I still have this desire to just run wild and be free as a woman, because it feels like, I remember describing this to my husband. We were having a very vulnerable conversation about all my life I felt like a wild animal clawing at a cage. And I no longer desire to feel like that. And this is my moment of really honoring that I release myself from any self-inflicted cage, because that's not how I aspire to live. That's not the kind of person I am. And man, Little me deserves it. I'm gonna put some oracle from the Ancient Stones oracle. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. My card came right out. Roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one. We're all just having fun. Okay. Wow. I need my glasses. Let me see what he's talking about. So the first card that came out was the Pave Your Own Way. Leadership, courage, forge, don't follow. The next card is Releasing the Past. Emerging, transforming, energies transmuted. And the last card is the Egg Stone. Feminine power, embodiment, and fertility. We talked about fertility yesterday. Wow. I believe that is the perfect place to end off on. I'll rate these cards though. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Oh, so fun. We all just having fun. I haven't heard that song in so long. Okay, so 76. Says within the grounds of Glastonbury Abbey in the southwest England, a large ancient stone is hiding in plain sight. The locals refer to it as the Egg Stone. Legend says that women would sit on the stone during menstruation, a time when they were at their most powerful and intuitive, to both give and receive feminine power. Pilgrims to this day visit the Egg Stone, honoring it as a symbol of an era when the feminine was deeply respected and revered. And so the Egg Stone card is a symbol of all these things: feminine power, unapologetic embodiment, and fertility. The Egg Stone urges us to honor the feminine in ourselves and in others, no matter how we identify. It urges us to not waste time being distracted by the noise of patriarchy, and instead confidently lead the way in protecting the feminine within us, within others, and within the earth. This is a card of great feminine leadership, of respecting the feminine nature of life, which means respecting and protecting life in general. It can also be a sign of birth, both physically and metaphorically, in the form of a child or some sort of creation. And the stone activation says, I honor the feminine power in myself. I honor the feminine power in all those around me. I'm ready to play my part in protecting the rising feminine of the earth. Releasing the past. Fogus are cave-like underground structures found in Cornwall, England, built within Iron Age settlements using large stone slabs. They may have been used for ceremonial or ritual purposes. Embrace the powerful transformation that they hold. Ancient subterranean passageways leading us into the womb of Earth for our own rebirth. As we venture through these ancient portals, we're called to envision our own transformation through releasing what once was What once was for what will be born. Each journey of transformation is unique. Are you experiencing a period of transformation or emerging from one? Transformation requires great courage from both the soul and a human perspective. Periods of initiation require that we go into the depths, into the shadows, to return changed, rebirth, and renewed. If you're in one right now, may you find comfort in the belief that these inner journeys are chosen by the soul. And those who have journeyed to the depths and returned know that in the rock bottom moments of our lives, we're invited to learn to see in the dark, because it's there that the light is the most visible. These periods of depth and transformation come with the opportunity to transmute old energies and patterns that perhaps we'd be unable to if the sun was shining every day. So embrace the darkness of the fogu and keep focusing on the light within to warm you. For when the time comes to emerge, you'll be forever transformed. Ancient Stones activation. I embrace the transformation that's happening within me. May all that no longer serves me and which is not mine be transmuted so I can emerge transformed. And the last one is pave your own way. The Giant's Causeway is a captivating ancient volcanic formation in the Northern Ireland that's cloaked in many a myth. One story speaks of the giant Finn MacCool, who created it as a bridge to Scotland so he could fight another giant named Benadonner. Pave Your Own Way is a card of boldness and leadership. It's one that invites you to do things in your own way and to bravely go where perhaps no one else has gone before. Maybe you're the first one in your family system to do something new, or perhaps you're the black sheep of the flock. Embrace your uniqueness, journey courageously into the unknown, and do it in a way that only you can. How are you being called to step forward and lead? What kind of leader do you wish you'd had while you were growing up? What kind of leader do you wish you had now? How can you be that for yourself and others who are just like you now? What new places are you being called to explore? What are you being called to do differently? How can you refrain from following others? Step out of the box and lead. Soul inquiry. If you were feeling bold and courageous, what would you do? I'm gonna own that I am a woman who bleeds, and I love my bleed. I love the potency of the magic that flows through me when I feel my womb releasing. I love it. I love it so much. I am so grateful for my body. I am so grateful for the way that she moves. I am so grateful for the way that she releases, the way she flows. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I want you to hug yourself and to love on yourself and to honor yourself, because you are deserving of being honored. You, all versions of you. And together, in sisterhood, we pave a new path. And we move forward and release all that's not ours, all the burdens that we have carried that were never ours to carry. We release. And yeah, so thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for seeing me, honoring me, loving on me, and hearing me. Because this is my story and my journey. Like I said, my name is Jezreel. I am the Spirit Baby Auntie. And if you would like to book me as your doula, as your sacred sister to journey with you in your journey of becoming a mother, my discovery call box is right down there. So hit me up. So yeah, till tomorrow on day 49.